Hi and welcome back to Zoëthopia. We believe the knowledge is power. My name is Zoe Robertson. I'm here to empower you through knowledge motivation, and I'm not a professor. Let's get to learning. And in today's video, we are learning how you can level up and become that girl this summer. And I'm sorry for my voice, I'll have a little bit of a cold, which I am going to work on with step one, which is to stay hydrated. I don't even feel like I have to go over why we need to be drinking more water. There's so much on this already, for your skin, for your just overall health, for if you have any weight goals, for your energy, and especially right now, at least in Norway, it's been super hot, so it is more important than ever to stay hydrated just to stay alive. That being said, let's get hydrated. Much better. The second tip, or the second step, whatever you want to call it, is in a similar vein, and it is to match up your eating habits with your goals. For example, if you've seen some of my shorts, I've been focusing a lot on having oat-based breakfasts where I include apple and chia and ginger, cinnamon, honey, and that is because my main goal right now, because I have thyroid issues, is to basically just reduce bloating and especially inflammation. You can tell still I have my baby cheese, all of this, but I'm really working on that, and that is honey, cinnamon, chia, that are super good for this issue. And I'm having bananas and lots of healthy things all together, but especially things that are for bloating and inflammation. I am sick of this inflammation. It's not just even a physical issue or appearance-based, yes, my face is bloated, whatever. It's also super painful, my cheekbones are burning all the time, and if I can work on that with food, you're gonna eat breakfast anyways. You might as well align your breakfast to your goals. So honestly, what I did and what I think you should do is to figure out okay, what are my goals? That's to get stronger, leaner, have more energy, clear your skin, and then just have ChatGPT write a diet for you based on those goals. I put in reduce bloating and inflammation, make it vegan, and make it pretty simple. Eating specifically for your goals not only makes the meal more enjoyable, but also it just feels very good. It feels like you're hugging yourself, going out to get a massage. It feels like self-care and it feels like self-love, and I love that. Third, okay, so we all know that skincare is super important. You have to rinse your skin, you have to moisturize your skin, and not just your skin and your face, you also have to take care of the skin in your body. I'm always why don't people, especially in Norway, where it's so the weather and everything, use more lotion? So yes, that is very important. That wasn't even my point. I'm just oh my god, take care of your skin in general. But right now it is super hot. It is summer, and the one thing that I will not negotiate with anyone on is that you have to use sunscreen. I have 50 plus on my body, I have 50 plus on my face. I'm gonna have this face till I die. You also, we have to take care of our skin. Not only is there a very real possibility of getting skin cancer if you're not taking care of your skin, but also you're just gonna look old and crusty and dusty, and it's not a good look. We're still young, and let's try to look young for as long as we can and not look like we're 50 when we're 30, okay? I know we all want to have a nice tan. I know we want to look different this summer and look our best and look super healthy and oh, I've been in the sun, and that is good, and you're still gonna get a tan. But honestly, nothing is worth sun damage. And not even just okay, not even just skin cancer, not even down the line when we're looking old when we're young, but also imagine if you had this long beach day, right? And you just wore 25 SPF or no sunscreen at all. And you're okay, I'm feeling good, I'm at the beach, and you have 2 weeks left of vacation, but then you get sunburned. If you get sunburned and you have 2 weeks left of vacation, you're ruining your vacation, you're ruining your holiday. Is that worth it? No, it's not. Nothing is worth it. Walking around like a flaky lobster, wear sunscreen. 50 SPF, seriously. Thank me later. And on that note, also keep your makeup light, because one of my biggest fears is pigment stains, like getting like a random like dark spot here or something, and that can happen if like I don't know really what happens, but sort of the makeup interacts with the skin and it gets sort of like etched in, and I hope sunscreen helps with that, or just having a layer in general between your skin and the makeup. But even so, if you can avoid it, like obviously like it all comes down to your comfort level, and I'm not going to say anything about that, but I'm just saying like if you can, definitely avoid like heavy like creamy foundations and stuff like that. Honestly, I feel like when like now that I have like a thick layer of sunscreen, like I have like 2 layers of sunscreen actually, then just powder over it, like it interacts well and like the powder gets its own base, so you don't really have to have foundation under. And I would just say like aim for as little makeup as possible, but also obviously feel comfortable, obviously like glam up and everything, but then maybe try to keep the heavy makeup till later in the day or like nighttime, you know, when the sun isn't blasting you, because pigment stains are forever. I feel like I should have worn like a headband. I'm at my cousin's right now, which is why my background is a little chiller and more aesthetic than usual, but I really wish I had access to like a full wardrobe, and I would just love a headband with this, and I feel like the colors and my makeup colors are early 60s, and then you have this like early 70s t-shirt, and then my hair is doing this thing, and I'm gonna need a headband right here. Continuing on for a while with the physical glow up, exercise, super important obviously, but I would say also it's summer, so first of all, don't like bury yourself in a dark damp gym, and secondly, I think exercise in summer should be fun, like something that not just like keeps you toned or whatever, but that actually just makes you really happy. For example, like I love being in the water, so if I'm like swimming, it's not even exercise, it's just fun, but it's also obviously exercise. It works your whole body, it's great for burning calories, for building strength, whatever, but it's also just like I love it. So if you're into like swimming or hiking or biking, or just like, you know, your hot girl walks or like your dog walks, then just do that and focus on that. And you can do like super heavy lifting unless it's like your passion, and you can do that later. This is summer, honestly, and I feel like a summer glow up is not just about like having the best tan and having your bubble butt and having your hair like flow magically through the wind. It's about feeling good. Like first and foremost, a summer glow up and being that girl, a confident girl who loves life and has a good life and is like always put together. It's about self-love, feeling good. So don't compromise that for some goal or somebody that you feel like you should have right now, because right now is when you have time to just honestly think about yourself and live with yourself and self-improving in a way that feels good. And self-improvement is very important, which is why I also feel like this summer you should read up on self-improvement, watch videos in self-improvement, and figure out like what you want to implement. And not just like things like this, like a glow up, but also, for example, if you want to work on your writing or on video making or on makeup or, I don't know, creating nails or investing your money wisely, that is things that you can do now. One of my favorite things to do, like that I've always done for like summer vibes sort of, is like when I go for a walk or a jog or whatever, I really like listening to either audiobooks from like, you know, Mel Robbins and stuff, whom I love, or podcasts where you interview successful people like Girl Boss Radio. I think that's the vibe also of Call Her Daddy right now. And what's that one British girl who has... Okay, I'm gonna find that and put it in. And also, even though it's no longer continuing, if you haven't listened to it, I love Pretty Big Deal by Ashley Graham. And in general, also, I have a little playlist on this on my YouTube channel where I talk about some self-help books and podcasts that I feel are perfect for young women. Definitely check out that. And I love also just watching vlogs or interviews, architectural digest, and just get inspired and listen to the words of people who have achieved some of the things that I would like to have achieved, or just in general are motivational to me. That is like a little life hack for me to get into the mood of summer and self-improvement. It's just like, do some exercise and you're already feeling good, and then listening to someone who has like this amazing life and has achieved things and what they have to say about it, and like take their advice, you know? I also love doing that while I'm cooking like healthy meals for myself, by the way. Mindset is almost everything, but it's not everything. You also have to have goals. Part of that is goals like, okay, reach this, reach that, but then you have the other side where you tick off, where it's like work out for an hour, if you have to put it in, drink a glass of water, blah, 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 whatever, like actionable things. It is great to have goals to attain, but every one of that goals has to have part goals, which are actually not goals, but more like to-dos, and you have to do it. If you have a goal of reading 10 books, then it's not just going to be like read 10 books, it's going to be read this book, read this book, read this book, read this book. And even more so, it's going to be like read for 2 hours that day, read for 1 hour that day, whatever, whenever it fits. Maybe you put a whole calendar thing, but there has to be something that you're actually taking off. We never do just big goals without actionable steps. Everything has to be actionable. In Zoëthopia, we set SMART goals, okay? So specific, measurable. Yeah, I got them all wrong from here, but that's why I put up the graph so you can see for yourself. Anyways, yes, we do. Also, I'm a Virgo, you know I love checking off lists, and I think you're gonna love it also. And this is a great time to either, or both if you wanna, work on something that you've been putting off or that you really wanna do. Like if you've always wanted to learn the guitar, or if you're 50% into your journey on learning the guitar, work on that, learn the guitar. For me, I'm trying to practice more my check. I was getting really good, and then I dropped off, and now I'm like, okay, back at it. Learn the check, girl. You love going to Prague, you know, you have to be able to talk, learn. Summer is just a great time to focus on things you don't normally have time to focus on. Like I said, with the book example, I think a lot of us feel that, because like when you're a student, when you're working, especially when you're a student, really, you kind of feel guilty when you're reading a fiction book, because you have so much school things you have to read. But in the summer, you can just sit down and read whatever book you want to read. I've been on a little journey to like read more books from the 21st century, and it's fun. It's like a treat that I don't normally give myself. And this can be anything, whether, yes, read books or play guitar, stuff like that. But also, you know, we have YouTube, we have Skillshare, so if there's even like some sort of like class you would want to take, you can actually just do it on the internet. You can learn about finance, you can learn about marketing, you can learn about architecture, archaeology, whatever you want to learn about. This is your time. Do whatever appeals to you, do that, but do something that makes you feel like, oh, I now have acquired a new skill and now know a little bit more about that makes you feel like a more accomplished and well-rounded person. Another tip that I am super passionate about, which isn't necessarily just for the summer, but it's especially important right now if you're like swimming in salt water or just spending a lot of time in the sun, which are activities that dry out not only your skin, which you talked about, moisturize, but also your hair. Do not overwash your hair. Honestly, try to wash your hair as little as possible. I like to rinse my hair all the time, so like wash it, but like without shampoo and conditioner, although using conditioner isn't as bad, but like shampoo strips your hair of everything that is moisturizing it naturally and just dries it out. So like try to keep it one to 2 times a week. What I would focus on, however, is when you're like washing your hair and everything, is to use hair masks. Hair masks are brilliant. I don't know where my life would be without them. They super moisturize your hair, and so use a hair mask honestly like once a week. Definitely focus on that, and like I said, you can condition your hair a little more, and I totally get that you'd want to, especially when you're like swimming and stuff like that, because your hair gets weird. But try always, first of all, to just rinse out your hair and see how it feels. and then going with conditioner, and then if you have to, and like if your hair gets greasy and stuff, then use shampoo. But don't like immediately think that because your hair is feeling a little strange that you have to shampoo it, because you don't. And then also just try out different hair masks and see how much your life improves. Another tip is to prioritize sleep. Not only can you prioritize sleep now, so you should, but also it's just so good. It helps you physically, mentally, and everything. And one way that helps you to prioritize sleep is to really build a good morning routine and night routine. Your night routine should be super relaxing and get you in the mood for sleep. So whether it's like reading with a cup of tea, or taking a bath, or just something like warm and soothing. And your morning routine should be something you look forward to. It's not just your skincare and everything, but also the breakfast you make and the drink you start your day with, whether it's coffee, which like I get it, coffee is no, but still I drink coffee. We all have our vices, or a matcha or a smoothie or whatever, like just something that you really look forward to. And this is important not just because like mentally, yes, you want to get a cup of coffee and it's so relaxing, I want to sleep, but also there's this thing that Mel Robbins talks about with her 5-second rule, where like she's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then she gets out of bed, which is brilliant. But also one of the reasons why that works is because you have something called a starter ritual. So when we as human beings build rituals around things, sort of just like, me personally, when I smell a hamburger, I think about fries and I want fries. So when you like drink that tea, or when you drink that tea, that either means that you're going to bed or you're waking up, and then your body gets ready to sleep in this instance and to wake up in that instance, and it just makes it that much easier to get the right amount of sleep, because it is really important to get like around 8 hours of sleep. It makes you happier, gives you more energy, makes you prettier, and this is really the time to not only to capitalize on the fact that we have more time to sleep, but also to just build those rituals for yourself, so that when things start up again with like school or work or whatever, they're so ingrained in you and so ritualistic that it's a no-brainer, and it doesn't really take that much time, and you can actually have your morning and night routines even though you're living your day-to-day existence. Another thing that I will not compromise on, and this time comes to the mental or the spiritual, is whether you're doing manifestation, meditating, daydreaming, journaling, or yoga, or vision boards, you gotta do something. It's good to have goals for the summer, it's great. We also need to remember, like, why are we doing this? What is the end goal? What do we really, really want? I never go to bed without like thinking about or envisioning what I want. It's what honestly like gets me up in the morning, gets me motivated. It's what gets me to drink water, to make healthy meals for myself, to take care of my skin, to exercise, to study, everything really that is in any way a little bit hard, or just, or you could choose something else that would be easier but worse for you, is to just think about like, why am I doing this? This is also why I love, like I said, listening to certain podcasts or watching certain vlogs whilst exercising, because like if I'm jogging, which I don't like to jog, I am jogging for something. I have a goal, and it's so important to just keep ourselves like remembering why we're doing something and also manifesting. And it's super fun, and that is why there's so many different, like, I'm not good at meditating like in a silent room, like sitting like this. I can't do it. But if I'm doing yoga and my body's doing something, then I can meditate. Or if I'm listening to a guided meditation, and finding whatever works for you. Whether that is like a vision board, which can be on Pinterest, something. I have vision boards on Pinterest because I'm not really good with my hands. I'm not an artist. But I like just seeing the things I like, Or journaling if you're a good writer, and not just journaling about what's happening now, but journaling about the present. No, that's what's happening now. Journaling about the future. Or just, when I manifest, I'm like envisioning things, like I'm a visualization person, but like it's like daydreaming. I remember when I was in high school, when I was like 13, I used to get to school early and I used to just sit in the dark and just like think about what I would want and envision my life in certain cities, certain persons. And now that I'm a grown person and we have manifestation and visualization, I realized that what I was thinking about is like daydreaming or planning, plotting almost in my mind, was actually visualization. And I still enjoy that a lot. And I love going to bed, listening to guided meditations, visualization. I love Life by Lucy. She guides me. And just envisioning things. And it really is the same as I did in high school. I think all of us have done some of these things and not really like thought of them as manifestation, but we all have some sort of habit and you have to do one of these things or several of them. I think I do almost all of them honestly in some way or another. And to me also, yoga is not just meditation, it's not just manifestation. Yoga is something that I feel like everyone should be doing. Honestly, it's an exercise that really grounds you and that you can always tweak to whatever you want. So if you want to work on flexibility, if you want to work on strength, if you want to work on stamina, then yoga is perfect for all of this. And if you want to work on mental, then yoga is also perfect. Like for me, when I have final season, the only thing that really calms me down is yoga. That's the only time I can like turn off my brain. Next up, and this one I think I stole from Rachel Hollis or borrowed because I'm telling you, treat yourself like someone you love. This is something, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure I've said this before years ago and I am still working on it. I think I'll always work on it. We need to stop punishing ourselves, talking down to ourselves, talking bad about ourselves, denying ourselves things. Even though it might be counterintuitive, sometimes when you're feeling down, just pig out. It's fine. You can pig out for a little bit. You know, you can take a day where like, shouldn't be eating this, but it's making me feel good. And if someone came to you with the feelings you have and said, oh, I really just want to eat this cupcake even though I'm on a diet, if you'd be like, oh my god, go for it, you had a rough day, then just do it. If you want to sleep in, do it. If you gain 5 pounds, don't say to yourself, oh my god, you disgusting pig, because you wouldn't say that to your friend. You wouldn't say that to your mom. No, you wouldn't, you know? Don't put things off because you don't feel good enough. Don't talk down to yourself. Don't tell yourself, oh yeah, you always fail at this, you know? Because, spoiler alert, if you say that, then it's gonna become true. Just be kind to yourself and think, would I do this to someone I love? Would you starve someone you love? Would you belittle someone you love? Would you tell someone you love they're too fat to go to the beach? I really hope you wouldn't. So don't do that to yourself. In a similar vein, cut out toxicity. Friends, boyfriends, people you follow on social media, family members, cut them off. I've absolutely had family members where like every time I spend time with them, I felt a lot worse about myself afterwards, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. It doesn't matter who someone is, if they are making you feel very, really bad about yourself or bad about life, or just you feel bad after seeing them, cut them out. And if you're just seeing someone because you feel bad for them or because you feel an obligation to, and that person's wronged you in some way, honestly, then they don't deserve you going to see them. This is something that I wish I'd been better at doing for myself. Unfortunately, sometimes someone is just naturally cut out of your life. And then you're left with this feeling of, wow, all of those visits, all of those hurtful words, it wasn't really worth it, was it? Maybe I would have been better off if I just put my foot down. So this is me telling you, if you still have a chance to put your foot down and cut them off, do it. And last but not least, it is summer, we're having fun. Don't drink too much, don't drink too often. Every time you drink, you know, the day after, you're just feeling sluggish. your skin is gonna turn to shit. And there's so much fun to be had without alcohol or with just smaller amounts of alcohol. And I think we should prioritize our health and our skin and not just our vodka. Even though drinking is really fun, yes, but I'd say drink in moderation this summer. And if you really want to level up this summer and be that girl, then you can't have the flaky breakout skin of someone who's drinking every day. You just can't, sorry. So that being said, have an amazing summer. I love you and I'll see you soon. Bye.